The Galactic Council had dismissed humanity as a minor species for decades. Their physical stats were unremarkable: average strength, moderate speed, mediocre sensory capabilities. The Zephyrians could lift twice as much. The Kepler natives could see across 17 spectrums of light. The crystalline hegemony could survive in the vacuum of space without protection. Humans? They were soft, pink, and fragile. Ambassador Veltar of the hegemony had once observed that they seemed to leak constantly. Water from their eyes when distressed, salt from their pores when exerted, and various other fluids at inconvenient intervals. Hardly the stuff of galactic significance. That perspective changed during the Proxima Station incident. The research outpost orbiting Proxima Centauri BA had been humanity's first serious attempt at deep space colonization. 43 species had contributed to the project, with humans relegated to menial maintenance duties. After all, what could such a delicate species contribute to serious scientific endeavors? Dr. Elena Vasquez had been assigned to waste management, a job the other species considered fitting for humanity's limited capabilities. She worked the night shift in Sector 7, the deepest part of the station where the fusion reactor's waste heat made the corridors uncomfortably warm for most species. The Zephyrians wore cooling suits in those sections. The Kepler natives couldn't venture there at all without environmental protection. Even the hardy crystallines found the temperatures unpleasant. Elena wore a light jumpsuit and hummed while she worked. When the cascade failure began at 0347 station time, every alarm on Proxima Station screamed warnings. A containment breach in the primary fusion chamber sent superheated plasma racing through the maintenance corridors. The temperature readings climbed beyond what most species could survive, 150 degrees Celsius and rising. Emergency bulkheads sealed automatically, trapping anyone in the affected sections. The station's AI calculated that rescue operations couldn't begin for at least 6 hours, the time needed for specialized equipment to arrive and temperatures to drop to survivable levels. For 42 species, survivable meant below 60 degrees Celsius. For humans, Elena was about to redefine the term entirely. Commander Zixith of the crystalline hegemony watched the thermal readings in horror. According to their sensors, a human life sign remained active in Sector 7. The temperature there had reached 180 degrees Celsius, hot enough to boil water, hot enough to kill any known sentient species within minutes. The human must be malfunctioning, Veltar observed clinically. No biological entity could survive those conditions. But Elena's vitals remained strong, steady. Her comm signal crackled through the interference. Station Command, this is Vasquez in Sector 7. I'm reading multiple system failures down here, initiating emergency repairs. Negative, Dr. Vasquez, Commander Zixth transmitted back. Evacuate immediately, the thermal levels are lethal. Elena's laugh came through the static. Not panicked, not strained, but genuinely amused. Commander, I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. This feels like summer back home. What followed challenged everything the Galactic Council thought they knew about human limitations. Through security cameras with melting housings, they watched Elena move through corridors where the very air shimmered with heat. Her jumpsuit darkened with perspiration, but she moved with steady purpose. She bypassed emergency lockouts, manually, rerouted plasma flows, and rebuilt damaged circuits with her bare hands while standing in temperatures that should have flash-fried her nervous system. This is impossible, whispered Dr. Kethra, the station's Zephyrian chief scientist. No organic compound can function at those temperatures. But Elena kept working. More than that, she began singing, an old Earth song about walking through fire. Her voice carried through the comm system, steady and clear, as she crawled through superheated maintenance shafts to reach the primary containment systems. The other species watched in stunned silence as Elena performed emergency repairs that their own heat-resistant robots couldn't accomplish. Her hands, protected only by standard work gloves, manipulated components in 200-degree heat. Her respiratory system, which should have been seared by the first breath of superheated air, continued functioning normally. How? Commander Zixith finally asked, his crystalline voice structure barely managing the word. Elena's reply came as she manually realigned the fusion chamber's magnetic containment field, a task requiring precise movements in heat that would have turned most aliens into vapor. Evolution's funny like that, Commander. My ancestors survived. Ice ages, volcanic eruptions, and deserts where nothing should live. We adapted. We always adapt. When she finally emerged from Sector 7 4 hours later, Elena looked like she'd finished a moderately challenging workout. Her hair was damp with sweat, her cheeks were flushed, but she smiled and asked if anyone had coffee ready. Behind her, the sector's temperature readings showed a steady decline as her repairs took effect. The fusion reactor hummed with renewed stability. The cascade failure had been not just contained, but reversed, by a human working in conditions that would have killed anyone else in the galaxy. The gathered aliens stared at her in a new kind of silence. "You know what the funny part is?" Elena said, accepting a water bottle from a stunned maintenance bot. "That wasn't even our best trick. Wait until you see what we can do when we're actually angry." From that day forward, humanity's status in the Galactic Council began to shift. Species that had dismissed humans as weak started paying attention to their other capabilities. If they could survive in impossible heat while laughing about it, what else could they endure? The answer, as the galaxy would soon learn, was almost everything. Elena returned to her shift in Sector 7 the next day, humming the same song. The temperature had dropped to a comfortable 45 degrees Celsius, practically Arctic by her new standards. She wore a light sweater. The other species had requested transfers to different sectors. Too cold for their tastes, they claimed. Elena just smiled and got back to work. After all, someone had to keep the lights on, and humans had always been good at the impossible jobs.